Lorde recently released a single called Man of the Year, and it is referencing when she was featured as one of GQ magazine's Men of the Year. And they decided to feature women in that list to be edgy. Lorde's song is inspired by that moment in her life, and it's also about exploring her gender identity, and she has duct tape over her tits in the music video. It's all really deep and intellectual, but her fans have taken the audio of that single and posted it on TikTok and made it into a trend where they can talk shit about their boyfriends. Rather ex-boyfriends. And the entire Man of the Year TikTok trend is about exposing the most effed up, traumatizing thing your ex-boyfriend or baby daddy or husband said to you that made you realize he was basically a sociopath. And it's the epitome of women posting their L's. I don't think that you should be broadcasting this type of thing to commiserate with strangers online. But alas, this is their favorite thing to do as a pastime. So I think we should just show, first off, this example from Avery Clare, where her ex-boyfriend proceeded to cheat on her and then made an EDM song to the crying voicemail that she sent him.
There's a 20 there first.
I'm sorry, that's...
I'm sorry,
that's
I
objectively
missed
hilarious.
This 20 from Weary Traveler. Friday evening is upon us. I'm celebrating by drinking my third cup of coffee from my Save the Gongo mug on this very rainy day. Still waiting for the PCC blend.
We got our, Olivia bought one of the mugs. It's just sitting at home. I don't think either of us is going to use it. We're going to put it probably behind us.
You have to preserve it, yeah.
I think Olivia's going to put it behind her for, when she goes on live streams or stuff like that, behind her desk.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, let's watch this video here.
Do it for the Man of the Year. Is he on the phone? You really hurt my feelings, and... because I really liked you, you know. I hurt my feelings. I hurt my feelings. I hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe this should be our new crisis party song.
Can somebody I might have to
I need to know more details. I need to know, did he just break up with her out of the blue?
No.
Was she cheating?
So she found out that he cheated.
Oh, yeah.
She ended it, sent him the crying voicemail.
Sorry.
And then he proceeded to make the EDM soundtrack after their breakup. So
that's
awesome.
horrible. I want to be clear. Horrible thing to do.
I'm resending
really funny.
Yeah,
I'm resending this to myself just for future reference.
Yeah,
in
just
case
for safekeeping, you know?
I might want to use it. This
yes.
is a song for crisis party. Okay.
And then we have another Man of the Year who told his girlfriend that she's ugly, basically, in this next video.
Here we go.
Let's hear it for the Man of the Year.
So you're saying I need makeup and that my hair looks bad?
I think so. Yeah, fake friends would have told you shit looks great and you didn't walk around looking like that.
Yeah. He said, bro said afraid so.
If your friends loved you, they would have told you what was wrong.
I agree with that one. That is very, my friends and I would always be honest with each other about these things.
You're a guy. Guys aren't the same as
No,
women.
if my female friends that I wasn't interested in high school had been like, hey, how do I look? I'm going out on a date or I'm going to a party, and they looked like garbage, I would have been like, you don't look good.
Okay.
You should fix that.
I think looks like a perfectly attractive girl, and he was probably just saying that to be hurtful.
I don't know. What was the situation?
Basically, he told her that she needs makeup,
but she asked him if she needed
and that
makeup.
her hair looks terrible.
Well, yes, she's asking a question she doesn't want the answer to.
No, she was asking the question after he already had said that off camera. She started recording.
Do we know that?
I mean, we don't know the context, but I'm using context clues here. And there were some others that were text conversations from their breakups. One of them said,
that was a boyfriend?
Yes.
Oh,
These are
yeah,
all-
no.
these are all boyfriends.
Bad move. Bad move. Don't do that.
Another man of the year said, the reason I haven't been answering you is simply because I don't love you anymore. I want to stop being called a cheater, so I'm going to end things so I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I never truly loved you, and I'm not sorry for lying about that. Don't bother reaching out and trying, okay?
Damn, bro.
Okay, that's too far.
That's ruthless.
Another one said to her boyfriend, I miss you a lot right now, and he said, I'm sorry you feel that way. Another one said to his girlfriend, it's not my fault that you feel that way. I told you I loved you and you didn't say it back, so I kissed her that night. Out of context
Ow.
again.
Gentlemen, that is not an actual reason.
Another one.
To do
This is a
that.
breakup text. It said basically, I don't know how to word it, but like, I'm not feeling it anymore. I want to break up with you low key, but I don't know yet. Like, I can't decide. Sorry. Like, just end the relationship if you're not sure.
Are all of these people teenagers?
I hope so, but a lot of these are from examples of adults.
Yep.
One of them said, man of the year got me pregnant at 20 years old, promised me everything, left me a month after finding out, blocked me and everyone I know on everything, got with a new girl, and still doesn't care how it affects me or his baby.
Damn, bro.
And there are all these young girls seeing these examples from the man of the year trend and basically saying, like, this is what radicalized me. I hate all men forever. They're all trash. I'll never trust one.
You know what the scary part about that is like, imagine the power you've given every dude in the world if, like, just a guy who's just a bad person can ruin every guy for you forever.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you carry more power than you actually know.
This one was terrible. So this is from her boyfriend at the time. Let's say we're walking around and your butt is small and people look at us and they're like, ew, why is he with that girl? She has a flat ass and that's embarrassing for me.
All right, if I'm gonna be honest, if one of my friend's girlfriends came up to me and told me that he said that, I would probably kick his ass.
Like, that's just rude. If you're not attracted to her, like, don't be with her. Another one was a message on Hinge, so not from a boyfriend, who said to her prompt, her goal is to take a road trip to every national park. And he said, you're going to be the next Gabby Petito and I'm Brian.
Okay, that man needs to be locked up. That the FBI right now.
I looked at these examples. I was like, are men really this crazy?
That's insane.
I mean, I've gotten some crazy messages, but
That's literally threatening to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like, we know he killed her.
was that like a failed like flirting technique? You know, you got to be a little bit scary to get.
He went to the Army Hammer School of Flirting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what he was going for there.
Also, I have it on very good authority that Brian Laundrie was a complete weirdo in every possible way, and his mom's a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess that a murderer is a weirdo in a lot of
Oh
ways.
no, like he and his mom had something weird going on.
Ugh.
Like,
I'm sure you looked into it more than
I was
most.
so
I
much
know her
happier.
I know Gabby's family.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I was so
Okay.
much happier
So
1
they know
minute ago
things.
before I knew that.
To be clear, Gabby's family did not tell me
Yeah.
that Brian and his mother had any sort of Oedipal relationship. They just told me a bunch of things that led me to that conclusion on my own.
Okay.
Okay.
The scientific method.
This is another text saying, there's no problem with your arms and legs, so I don't see why I have to open the door for you. Feminism and its consequences.
See, there it is right there. He's like, look, I'm doing what you asked.
Sickening. And then another one said, I know your grandma just passed away, but do you want to hop on it still?
Oh my god.
Like, I want to believe it's fake, but
Look, we know that these days people are prone to exaggerating situations for social media clout, but at the same time, do I believe that there are men that are clueless enough socially to act this way?
Yeah.
I do.
are they clueless or just evil? Because honestly, a lot of them just sound evil.
I mean,
Like, there's no amount of ignorance of, you know, the nuances of the female psyche that could excuse saying at least a few of these.
If you're under the age of 15, a lot of these are excusable as just being really stupid. Over the age of 15, you should know better.
Yeah.
A lot of men are, like, in relationships with women they seem to despise. Like, you should probably just date someone that you like, and then it wouldn't be such a chore for you to treat them well.
It would be better to like also probably easier on your heart and like
Everyone.
you're not gonna die of a heart attack earlier, and you're not going to be so angry all the time. You know, dating and then marrying somebody that you actually like is like a huge life hack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes things a lot easier for everyone involved.
It does feel like this kind of brings out one of those core traits of women online, which is the desire to commiserate around humiliating things.
They should not be posting these
humiliation is kind of sits right next to victimhood in this context, meaning that a guy would probably never post something like this if there's some type of female equivalent to it, because their ego wouldn't be able to take it.
Right.
But women's egos don't process the same way, so they're like, yes, here's this utterly humiliating thing where my boyfriend said I needed makeup and better hair.
Yeah. That's why they're posting it, is like to kind of find solidarity with other women who were done dirty. Yeah. But I think it's oversharing. It's trauma dumping for sure. And you know, I see this like swell of misandry spreading among Gen Z women, and I wonder where it comes from. It probably a lot of the time is because they dated shitty men, and it painted their idea of the opposite sex.
Yeah, I guess. But also, these don't tend to be one-sided conflicts, and
Yes, I'm
every
sure.
side tends to paint themselves as 100% the victim of
I'm
the
sure
other
that's
person.
true.
And I'm sure that both sides are equally guilty in most respects. Maybe not these ones.
Looky here,
But,
both sides,
you know,
Brett.
Yeah, that's me. That's
Sitting
me.
on his fence.
Look, I just hope Israel and Iran both have fun. That's what I want. It's just in social media, and the ability to post this stuff online means that you're kind of primed to make the content as inflammatory as possible.
Well, I've even heard dating advice from women to other women where they say if you're dating a new guy and he, you know, for whatever reason is going to ask you about your previous dating experiences, you should basically tell him that all of your previous relationships were great and that like none of them ever mistreated you, because that kind of sets a standard for how you expect to be treated.
Yeah, and
Even if the truth
and if
isn't
you've been
that.
and if you've been in 9 relationships in either gender, and either one's like the other person was guilty 100% of the time,
Yeah.
they were all crazy. Any
Yeah.
person with half a brain who isn't just trying to have sex understands that the odds of you dating 9 crazy people, while technically possible, you know, the truth usually finds to be something more along the lines of, yes, some of them might have been crazy, but likely something in your decision making led you to that path. And that's not to say anything about you, but for them themselves, they might not want to go down that road with somebody.
I think most people who have dated more than 3 people should have at least a couple of bad experiences and at least a couple of really good experiences mixed in there.
I just see these things and I'm like, you know, were there really no signs before you got to that point?
I don't know about for women, but as a man, there are several relationships I can look back on where there were indeed signs, and I ignored all of them.
So did you know consciously that you were ignoring the signs at the time, or do you look back on it and realize?
I look back on it and realize that I probably should have recognized the signs. I mean, right now, I have a friend who he and I have both dated the same girl, and I'm going to keep the details very shallow here. Basically, we both had an experience after those relationships ended with her where she accused us of horrible things.
That were untrue.
Yes, categorically untrue. He has now started exploring going back to her because she apologized, and I've been like, man, I love you. You're an adult. You can make your own decision. Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
Yeah.
She's gonna do it again. Like
Right,
because here's the thing, she didn't just do it to me and him. She did it to the guy before me too. Like,
did you believe her at the time?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because it was I had no reason not to. I had heard this guy was kind of not great with women, and I was like, okay, I can maybe see that. And then she said it about me, and I was like, wait a minute.
But then when
I know I didn't do that.
When you're a guy and it's your guy friend, you kind of are put in this super awkward position because you kind of have to let a man do what a man is gonna do, even if you know that it's self-destructive.
I reached out to him and
as a sign of respect.
I reached out and I was like, hey man, I love you and I'm looking out for you. I think you really should reconsider this. And he was like, I understand. I appreciate it. Just trust me. Like, I'm being careful. And I was like, okay,
It's
you
not
do
gonna
you.
go well for
But
him.
if something doesn't go well, I reserve the right to call you an idiot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if they end up getting married, you're not going to be at the wedding, though.
I probably wouldn't be at the wedding anyway.
Because she wouldn't. She
no,
wouldn't be
just
okay
he and I
with
aren't.
that.
He and I aren't that close. Like we're like bar friends.
I see.
Yeah.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
But
for him.
he came over to my place and like I made him carbonara and we commiserated over our problems.
See, that's the difference. Men make carbonara and commiserate over their problems.
And
women
women
find TikTok trends
Right.
and commiserate.
Oh, I
over
was
their
gonna say
problems.
they make penny.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't embarrass yourself like this, ladies.
I agree. And don't ignore the red flags. Like a certain level of introspection should mean
Yeah.
that your hackles should be up when something just seems off.
I
right?
feel like I've always had the opposite mentality where I'm constantly like I'm going to look for a reason why I should be suspicious of someone, even if it's in a friendship context. Like I'm not trying to like look for problems and make problems where they don't exist, but I definitely always am paying attention to the small things that people say that indicate things about their personality that could show up later down the line. So these women could probably use it as a learning experience.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.